Oh, this is so I can hear him, right? What? Oh, I can hear myself. Echo, Echo, Bravo, Foxtrot, Charlie Murphy.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 9 of the P-Funk Pro Show.
Almost out of beta.
I'm Austin Flume, and with me is the one and only
Anthony Gorman.
we gotta practice that.
Sorry.
So I'm gonna give you folks a background of what's happening right now. Right, I'm about to leave for Canada for 2 weeks. I'm leaving on Wednesday. It's Monday right now, and I'm coming back on the 25th.
Epic trip.
Epic trip. When I come back, we'll have a guest, we'll talk about it, and it will be episode 11, which will be the first episode after our relaunch.
Wow.
So that's the big day. So, Anthony, hopefully you do some crazy things while I'm gone to get stuff in order. We'll talk about this.
To not get arrested, but
okay, well,
up to and including not getting arrested.
Okay, I'll have to update the plans, actually, to accommodate that request. So we'll see what happens. But what we're doing now is basically Podcast-athon 2016. Because since I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks, we have to record 2 podcasts in a row.
Yep.
So buckle your seatbelts. Hopefully we don't talk about too many time-sensitive topics because they'll be outdated by the time that these go live.
I think it'll be fine.
Yeah,
we got
usually,
a lot of good ones.
Yeah, our podcasts are usually pretty evergreen in that, we talk about just generic, not news things.
Yeah,
just,
no Hill Dog and Trump stuff.
No, what, Hill Dog? Oh,
yeah,
Hillary. Gotcha.
It
took me a second.
I'm not on hers.
I didn't know.
That's just a name I call her.
I didn't know if there was like a dog in the hills that recently
Hill Dog. No, I just called her Hill Dog all the way back in the day when it was like the Obama and everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Got you. Did you vote for her or did you vote for? Are you?
No, it was Hill Dog, Obama your mama, and I went with Obama your mama for the primaries back then.
So did everybody else.
When with my family, I just started calling them yo mama.
Okay.
And they knew what I was talking about.
Do you still call him that?
Every once in a while to my family.
Now that he's the president.
I'd be like, you see what yo mama said? And they know that I'm talking about Barry.
Multiple nicknames.
Yeah.
Dang. You guys
I like to give the politician nicknames.
If you ever meet him, it'll be really weird because you'll have like 6 different nicknames for him.
I'll be like, yo mama, get over here.
And he'll be like, Fro, what's up?
Yeah. He'll be like, love the podcast.
You're on my cabinet now.
You guys are great.
He'll say it in that sultry deep voice that he has.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes.
Anyway. So Anthony, the first thing that I want to talk to you about, I think it's going to be a good icebreaker.
Yeah.
You brought a concern to me today.
Yes.
You are concerned with the current state of your video game life.
That is true.
Can you elaborate?
So I have noticed the last, I'd say 2 months. It's been 2 months since I've really been playing any video games whatsoever.
And you're concerned?
Yeah, I'm concerned by that because I have all these video games to play and VR headset and everything is my computer is ready to go for anything I throw at it pretty much. And I just have it sitting there doing nothing. Now, I think a lot of it has to do with the vacations and everything. Right. But even during the week, I'm working out, and then by the time I'm done with that, I just don't feel like it. Whereas back in the day, wintertime, I would. But I think it's because, now that I think about it, it's probably because I shifted how I'm working out and going on the bike trail, and it takes longer. So it's 2 days a week it's 3-hour trip, basically.
Yep.
2 days a week. And then Thursday or Wednesday is podcasting.
Right.
So, okay, so now that I'm working through it, now this is all making sense.
Yeah.
So
totally.
I'm working this out.
Yep.
So I basically, now it sounds like I have 1 or 2 days during the week.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those people that cannot sit down and play a video game for 4 to even 6 hours. Something like that.
Gotta take breaks.
In college I would, but now I think it's the length of a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I can only really sit down for an hour and a half to 2 hours before, even if I'm way into the game.
Huh.
Before I my mind is just
Does it start to wander? You get sick of it or what?
No, I mean there's other things I want to do. So I'm a news junkie. So
okay, gotcha.
When I look at the clock and it's 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
You don't want to start playing a video game that late, right?
Well, I mean in game.
Oh,
so if I look back and it's 10 o'clock, I start really wanting to do other things and read the news feeds and what's going on in the world. That's when I like to read all that stuff.
Stay up to date, yeah.
So
kind of wind down before bed, maybe.
Yeah, I guess during the week I'm now getting done with everything at 7 or 8, and I just am not feeling like jumping in anything.
Yeah.
Even though my headset, the Oculus, whatever.
That you waited so long for.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, that's why I was like kind of so mad that it was delayed by the company.
Yeah.
Because I knew like when it got warm out, I have like these things planned and I'm not gonna have time for it. And sure enough, that's what happened.
You got to go have adventures in the real life.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know what you mean. I've kind of been playing fewer video games recently too, probably because like some of the same reasons, actually specifically one of the reasons being the podcast.
Yeah.
Well, right.
It seems like you are getting like pulled in so many different directions.
Yeah.
Like in life.
Yeah. In life and work and everything now. It's getting very busy. Yeah. But I mean,
that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is a good thing, especially at work because it makes time go by so fast. But it also makes my hair recede ever so slightly faster.
Right. I don't think so.
I can see it happening, Anthony.
Oh, I don't think so.
But anyway, yeah, so yeah, a lot of things going on. I just stumble across plans, and I think now that I've moved out and I live like in the city now around things to do, and Pokemon Go came out, which we'll talk about later. There's just there seems to be a lot of things that I'd rather do, like run or work out, kind of like you said. I work out 2 days a week with Patrick and Bobby from work, so shout out to those guys.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I'm doing that now, and I don't know. It's not even something that I could quantify. Like I do this, and this week. I just seem to get pulled in random directions.
It does seem like that, yeah.
Yeah, but it's been kind of like this in my life for a while now.
Really?
Yeah. So I think the shift happened when actually I got out of college.
Okay.
So when I was in college and I was working full time,
yeah,
I would come home, do my schoolwork, and then it's like, okay, I feel 100% accomplished for the day. I'm going to sit down, and I deserve to play video games right now.
Oh, yeah, that make like reward system
exactly
type thing. Yeah.
Yep. Whereas now it's like, okay, I'm home from work. Now I have to do something productive so that I feel good about playing video games.
Oh, okay.
And I either never get there, and I just end up sitting there and like you're saying, browsing the internet, or just go take a run or have a walk or like find human interaction of some kind to fill that void that school left, which is the weirdest thing to say.
So it sounds like you have a productive, I mean, some people would die to have something like that. Like people that have like chronic procrastination.
Yeah.
Like I've been through that before too. So it's like,
well, it's like inertia, right? So when I start moving, I have to keep moving. Okay. Whereas like if I stop, I'm freaking a slug.
Now, do you think that's a personality trait or something that definitely derived from school?
I think it's both. Okay. I think it's a little bit of both. So, I mean, on one hand, I feel like everything is always sort of tied to a personality trait or whatever, like, inborn characteristic that you're born with. But at the same time, just like the path that I've went down, I've always kind of been doing something or active or working towards something. So, I think just I've been trained to think that way, too. So, in terms of, like, it's kind of the same.
Exactly. What do you mean?
So, I mean, just go to school, gotta be productive, gotta work towards goals, go to work. You know, now that I think about it, it wasn't this extreme until I started working.
Oh, like full time?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Because like what I have to do with work now, and like this could get boring, so I won't talk about it a lot, is like I have a lot of projects going on, and I have to manage all these different projects and make sure that I'm accomplishing them, or else like I'll get yelled at. Michael Fields is calling me. I'm actually going to call him back later, and we'll have him on the podcast maybe. But so now that I'm doing that at work, it's hard to turn that off when I get home.
Oh, okay.
So it's just, like I said, inertia. Mm-hmm. I've been going and going and going at work, and I feel like I have to keep going when I get home.
Man, I'm the exact opposite then.
Really?
So I've always been, it's not something I try to do or anything, but for the most part, I would say, so, sometimes stressful things I do bring, take home after work.
Yeah.
But honestly, I've never in like multiple jobs have left work and have just completely stewed. Now, there was one Walgreens store I was at that was a long, long story. The dynamics and the social culture at that store was pretty bad. Ooh. So I would bring home that, and that lasted like for about a half year to a year. But other than that, even at our current, employer, like when I leave, it's just I turn off. I don't really think about it at all unless it was something major that happened. But even nowadays, I think it's more healthy to not worry about what's going on at work. But it kind of sounds like what you're saying is you're like the inertia like you're talking about.
Yeah.
So that's something different. So that sounds a little more healthier than what I was like dealing with at Walgreens. Like I was just bringing everything home and then.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for the most part, I really turn off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, I feel like that's kind of the healthier way to be, or at least like somewhere in between the two.
Yeah.
Because I guess a few points. So like you're saying about not bringing your work problems home with you.
Yeah.
I do end up doing that sometimes because I get so wrapped up in everything that's happening at work because it's been so crazy lately that it's hard for me to stop thinking about it.
Okay.
And I have to like do something like take a walk or walk around the mall or something. Or put myself in a position where I'm talking to somebody, talk to a stranger or talk to somebody that's behind a counter at one of the stores.
Just to get your mind off.
Yeah, just
the monotony of work.
Talk to Brian at the Art of Shaving for 2 hours unexpectedly. So shout out to Brian if you happen to be listening to this podcast.
Some random listen.
Yeah, I did. I went into the Art of Shaving in the mall and
what is that?
Art of Shaving? It's actually a P&G sub-brand.
Art of Shaving?
Yeah, they got a bunch of Gillette stuff in there.
Oh,
it's in the Kenwood Mall. It's like a fancy shaving place or something.
Oh my god. Is that like Tide dry cleaners where they're like starting to branch out in these weird stores?
It's been that way for a while.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, but
they're doing that.
Yeah, so I ended up walking in there and talking to a dude for 2 hours just about everything.
Wow.
Life, politics, geopolitical stuff.
And he's like, I'm getting paid to talk like this.
Yeah. People that work in stores like that love to just talk to people if they want to talk to them. Because
it sounds like they're good for the role, yeah.
Yeah, they sit down there and they sit behind that desk and they just have very fleeting conversations with people and they get bored and they can't do anything and sometimes they don't have like internet access.
Oh, right.
And if you want to come in there and have a good conversation with a lot of them, they'd be totally down, especially at a place like Art of Shaving that might not get that much foot traffic. So if you ever want to have like a deep conversation with a stranger, I recommend just going into any retail store and they'd probably be down.
Yeah.
You know?
Sounds, and the mall, like there's a lot of like day walkers, I guess.
Yeah, totally.
So they probably get used to that kind of.
Oh yeah, and I talked to Brian. I talked to this dude in the Oakley store once.
Yeah.
I met, what was her name? I think it was like Betty or something in like
Betty.
Yeah, Betty. Betty in the Tempur-Pedic. Very nice lady. Let me try out the pillows.
Were you like laying down on the Tempur-Pedic mattress?
I was. It was awesome. It was one of those days that I was like super stressed, so I went in the Tempur-Pedic and I was like, I need to lay down on one of these beds.
Was she like, okay, I'm not your psychiatrist? Like,
no, dude, she was like, you should lay down on this one.
Oh,
and I was
my
like,
God.
is this the most expensive one? And she was like, oh yeah.
Wait, was she hitting him?
No, she was old. And it wasn't actually like that. That's how.
You have a soft voice, quite like this mattress.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so, okay, yeah. So sometimes I do take work home with me, but most of the time it is just the inertia where I'm going and going and going work. I come home and I feel like I have to keep going, which ends up putting me in situations where I've gone and gone and gone for so long that I've gotten to this point mentally where I'm almost like my dial's in the red. Like if you look at like your gas gauge, it's like, and I don't realize it. That's kind of like a thing that I do is like, I kind of.
So your RPMs are like redlining.
Yeah. So I don't, I kind of just go with the flow and put off problems and not let stuff bother me, quote unquote, and don't realize that it's actually getting to me until it's like really, 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 really getting to me.
Okay.
So I've kind of trained myself a little bit more in recent history to come home and try to play more video games and try to turn off my brain and just stop because it's so much healthier.
That is true. Yeah. People don't realize, people do kind of the same thing in mass. Because they come home and watch, I do the same thing. So, but, hours of Netflix or like back in the day, people would just watch the TV, you watch like Jeopardy, or not Price is Right, but like Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune, and then the local news, and then the other shows. And before you know it, you've sat down for 4 to 5 hours just watching TV.
Yeah.
And I feel like video games are kind of like that, but you're actually stimulating your brain, but it is also turning your brain off from your daily activities.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just like, it's kind of almost in the same realm, except I feel video games are more mentally stimulating.
Yeah.
As opposed to just watching whatever. But I'm guilty of watching hours of Netflix.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to fall into that rabbit hole.
Right.
Plus, it's not even just about turning your brain off. Rather than getting your brain onto something else.
Okay.
Because if your brain's on work so long, you're going to start to go crazy.
Right,
so even if your brain's not off, even if it's completely engaged while you're playing a video game, at least it's engaged to something else.
Okay.
So that when you go back to putting it onto work,
you
feel refreshed and you're ready to do it again. At least that's how I feel.
Yeah.
Because even playing this game that I've been playing, it's a strategy and it requires a lot of thought and planning, right? Which is mentally it's intense, mentally intense.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because my brain's at least not thinking about deployment.
Exactly.
You know what I'm talking about? So, yeah, that's kind of my point of view on it.
Yeah, the only time I ever got close to that, like I said, was at that one Walgreens store, and it was just because I was warned going there that the employees there kind of, if they don't like you as a manager, they will. Let's see, how can I word this delicately? They will try to get you transferred or even fired.
Oh,
and there was a history of fraternization with like
really?
floor people and managers and people getting fired.
Ooh,
and
nice.
It was
politics.
It was kind of crazy. And I do remember when I got there, after I was warned, my first day, this girl was taking me around, showing me where everything was.
Taking you around?
Yeah, taking around the store, and we get in the back room, and she hikes up her shirt. And
What?
This thong just
What?
Yeah, just
What?
like beaming at me, and I'm
Hold
like,
on.
holy cow.
Hold on. She took you in the back and did this?
No, yeah, I was following her, and we get in the back room, and she just kind of like hikes up, like, and I'm looking, I'm like, what in the world is that? Like, what? How did that just happen? And then there was another yeah.
What was her wait, hold on. What was she trying to do?
I'm not sure, but I was warned that the employees, mainly the girl, I don't want to throw anybody on the bus. Like, there was a lot of nice people there, and she wasn't bad. It's just, I don't know. It was a very odd store.
I'm very
of all
confused.
The Walgreens.
I'm very confused. So did you end up working with this person?
Yeah, for a very long time. And a lot of other girls that were there.
Did she follow up or anything? Or did it just kind of end like, this is what I am wearing, the end?
Yeah. So, I heard a lot of things. A lot of people that did things with managers that were still there.
So she was a manager?
No.
Oh, okay.
These were all, like cashiers and photo specialists and stuff.
Oh my god.
And it was almost like a culture. So it was, if they didn't like you, they would kind of like work together, kind of, and get you eradicated. That's what I heard. And it became quite apparent. And I was like chummy with this like younger girl, not like that, but like,
right.
And they thought
French.
I was like hitting on her, and it was this big deal.
Oh my god.
To the point,
That's insane.
it got a little psycho, like really psycho. And then, yeah, my good friend worked with the mother of another girl that worked there, and apparently the mother was the same way at his workplace.
What the crap?
So this was multi-generational. It was quite interesting, but I would bring that home. So I had just moved out into an apartment with my best friend Tom, and I would bring that stress home like crazy. I guess, yeah, so I did experience something like that. So when you expressed how you would redline,
yeah,
I would come home and just stew and try to like, I guess come up with like mental plans as to what to do, how to do things better, how to not get into this social dynamic pitfall.
And that was at a Walgreens.
Yeah, Walgreens. So when I worked at Biggs, there was, a lot of people. It was a big store. So Biggs is like kind of like a Myers, but cleaner.
Yeah.
That's how I explain it. So it was a really big store, and I had a ton of friends there. But when I went to Walgreens, I was hired on in management. And so that's one aspect of it, the stress.
Yeah.
And then the other aspect of it is Walgreens is such a tight, condensed store that everything is like amplified.
I see.
So if one person calls off, holy cow, that's a big deal.
You got to scramble.
That's a big deal.
Figure out how to make it work.
Yeah, because I would have like 3 floor people, and then there was the pharmacy. The pharmacy was like an island. They were their own contained unit, but I still had to help them. But they were pretty much a contained, self-reliant unit.
Okay, yeah.
But the floor people, that was all me, and I love to work the night shift because I'm a night owl.
Right.
And
seems like it'd be more peaceful.
More peaceful. There's no store manager. Not that I did things, whatever. I just like being on my own.
Yeah,
being
totally.
under. Like
you like to take over-the-counter drugs when nobody's watching. I understand.
No, they actually showed us video of pharmacists taking drugs in the back and what to look for.
Really?
I'm not joking. And they acted like they were like taking a sip of water, and they really had a pill in their hand.
The water was actually just like a thing of pills.
What?
Just take a swig of vegan Sudafed.
This pharmacist just took 30 vitamins. She's worked herself up to that over the last 5 years.
We have it all on video.
Here is her passing out.
We decided that instead of confronting her in the front of the problem, we were going to make an entire documentary about her problem and then confront her about it. She's not with us any longer.
Yeah, I mean, there's some horror stories. There was a pharmacist that was suspected to be under the influence of something, and they had to call an ambulance from UC to get her away and drug tested on the spot.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she was suspended for 3 months.
What was some of her symptoms?
It was the store opened at 8, I think, and we were there at 7:30 as managers in the morning.
Yeah.
And she was slurring her words to where it was you couldn't even understand if it was even English. It was really weird. I remember I was like prepping the tills in the office, and I stopped and like looked up at the PA speaker like, what in the hell was that?
Oh my goodness.
Like, that sounded like alien language. And then the store manager came in, like, and he was like, "Oh, things are about to happen." I was like, "Oh, Lord."
Jeez, okay. Turns out she was just French.
Yeah, right. Like, I am lost.
But anyway, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know how I got off now. So, yeah, the stress was pretty high at that store, but all the other stores I was at was pretty good. And then, current job at the Gamble.
The Gamble.
My first year was pretty stressful, and I kind of took things home, but really, not really.
Not so much?
Yeah, I felt like the only reason why I kept bringing things home from that store when I was at that Walgreens was I felt like I was being attacked. So whenever I feel like I'm being attacked, my brain,
go in defense
like no matter
mode?
in what, yeah, and it starts coming up with all sorts of like avenues out of this and that, things that haven't even happened that could potentially happen. So it's... Yeah, it gets crazy. Yeah, when I get in defensive mode, I start strategically, socially orchestrating things in my mind.
Like
for some
primal instincts are kicking in.
It's got to be something like that because it was deep. Yeah.
Wow. More talk about primal instincts later, but Anthony, thank you for that story. We're going to take a quick break and come right back with a call-in from one Michael Field, so stay tuned for that.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back to episode 9 of the P-Funk and Fro Show. Woo! We're about to pull an experiment. We're going to try to call in someone for the first time.
Oh, it's exciting.
That someone being the one and only Michael Fields, one of my longest running friends, one of my best friends in the world. I'm actually going on a Canadian adventure with him. He's the person that actually told me about the vacation in the first place. So we're going to get his take on importance of certain things in the woods. And Anthony, I know, being an adventurer yourself, you have some things to talk about on this topic as well. So we'll get both of your takes. I'm going to call him right now. He should be on standby. No idea if this is going to work or not, but we'll see. Coming through?
Yeah. I mean, you might have to. I'm not sure if these mics are directional. They seem to be quite, yeah.
Hey, this is Michael. I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Michael Fields! No. What are you doing?
At the tone, please record. When you finished recording,
oh, now he's calling.
Or press 1 for more options.
Michael Fields, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, man. I was just buying some milk.
Oh, you're just buying some milk?
As you do. Welcome to the P-Funk and Fro Show, Michael Fields. You're our first ever call-in guest. How do you feel about that?
Wow. I don't even have words for it.
He's speechless.
He is completely speechless. So, Michael, we've given the folks some background about what we're going to talk about. It's kind of related to the call that you and I just got off of. We're going to talk about the necessity of bringing certain things into the wilderness with you. So you, as an experienced woodsman,
yeah, okay.
as an experienced adventurer, a voyageur as they call them,
yeah.
Are there any specific things that you'd like to tell me before we go on our Canadian adventure? Things to remember.
You definitely need wipes. Like wipes.
Right. That's a good thing.
Like, because you're not going to be showering the full time, and toilet paper is just not going to be enough, you know?
Oh, yeah. So
wipes are something that I always think, you know, that you got to have wipes.
Are you talking about, like, baby wipes?
Yeah, they're like wet wipes, yeah.
Okay.
I took it on my last trip.
I don't know. I always
Gotcha.
call them wipes. That's what my folks always called them. That is called wipes.
I think it's a perfectly acceptable name.
Yeah,
and then there's baby wipes. I don't want to, you know. I'm a man.
Of course you are. Cool. So on top of that, other necessities.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's definitely stuff Tyler talked about, all that, you know, knives, and, you know, I'd say definitely a lighter would be a good idea, or even maybe matches or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what would be better. I know matches will, you know, they'll get wet and stuff, but I mean, honestly, dude, I'm no more experienced. I bet Anthony's more experienced based on what I've heard.
I bring grill lighters. But those wet ones, this was the first time me bringing. I usually bring like just toilet paper in like a Ziploc bag.
Yeah.
But I actually had like a 30-pack this time. I didn't even bring toilet paper, like you said.
Yeah.
They worked brilliantly. Like
Really?
just for everything, like just wiping your face and then other things. But
Right.
they were 10 times better than anything toilet paper could ever do down there.
That's amazing. Yeah, I picked some up from the dollar store across the street from my house, so we should be solid on that.
Great.
Definitely. But yeah, you were talking about, and I'm talking to Anthony right now. You were talking about some things that you were thinking of while I was in my call.
Oh,
Ammonium or something?
One of them, a big one. While I was working at Walgreens, I was like looking at the shelves or whatever, and I just happened to be by the Imodium, and I had a trip coming up in a couple weeks, and I was like, holy cow. I was like, what is one way that you can get dehydrated really quickly that's kind of dangerous if you're in the middle of nowhere? And that's diarrhea.
Oh, God.
But it's a funny, diarrhea is funny, but it's a funny
It's
word.
funny until you're dead.
It's exactly. It's funny because like when you're out there, you're also eating things that you don't normally would eat maybe, or like you just get sick, like water whatever. And Imodium is like one of those things that no one thinks, like every time I talk about, or they're like, why do you have Imodium? And I'm like, do you want diarrhea in the middle of the woods where you can't get to anywhere? And they're like, oh yeah, never mind. That's a good idea.
Dang. So what does the ammonium do? Does it like trap water inside of you or something?
No, I think it like, I'm not exactly sure how it happens, and I'm sure other people know, but it definitely like gets the stool to coalesce.
Saturate?
Yeah, to like no.
Coalesce.
Yeah, to go.
What?
I can't think of any word. But it definitely
Okay.
stops that, I guess.
All right. I'll see if I can pick up some ammonium, I guess, from.
I'm gonna say this. You do not need any of that up there because the water is it's like pure. Like they say it's cleaner than the tap water we drink here.
Wow.
So yeah, we literally just dunk our Nalgene's right in the lake and just drink the water.
Wow.
So there's no need for any like the Imodium or anything like that.
I'd still.
So I mean, yeah, it's a super cool part of the trip because it would suck having to carry water and stuff because it's so heavy.
Right.
So all we do is we just dump our Nalgene's in and just drink from the lake, and it tastes great.
So they don't like purify it at all?
No.
Wow.
Just straight out.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't know
awesome.
how I feel about that.
Well, we're from Ohio, where
Yeah,
the water
that's true.
the water contains 50% garbage.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, because the people up there, they test it like I know it's at least once a year, and obviously if the test came out saying that there was whatever Giardia or something going around in there or something, they'd say something. But obviously you don't want to skim off the top of the lake. You want to kind of dunk down a little bit so you're not getting stuff on the top.
You don't want that top water.
Yeah, I don't
No.
know.
It's not like topsoil. It's not pure. Is that
No,
because like
no,
bacteria rests on the top of the water or something?
No, it's just dirty is all. I mean, maybe there's some bacteria and stuff on the top, but I mean, nah, it's just it's a little. It's not really dirty, but there's the floaties are going to be up on top, so you might be drinking little
Dead
whatever
bugs.
dust particles or something.
Right. I actually kind of like that more. Instead of using a pump, just like getting out there and drinking God's creation straight from its source.
If I could bring like personal items, I think I would still bring my pump.
Well,
But that's just me.
the thing is, you got to carry it. So like, the less stuff that you can carry, the better.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I'm not taking a fishing rod.
Yeah, and plus using one of those pumps, they suck. It's just a pain in the ass.
Really?
I've lived off that many times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Got you.
I had to use it like one time when I went on like this like backpacking trip at IU. Like I took a class or something, and we had to use a water pump, and it was just it just took forever, and it was just super monotonous, and yeah, it just kind of sucks. I'd rather just boil the water myself.
Ooh. I'm on the other camp thing because like mine I can clean in the field, so it's pretty quick.
Okay. Do you have like an expensive water pump or something, Anthony?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you have a legit one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we use some junky like I don't even know, man. It was like a plunger or something. I don't know.
Oh no, yeah. This was like, yeah. It's a long story, but Tom and I got like top ones because
Yeah, because
And the
sounds like it was
gorge is
important.
definitely suggested for a water filter.
I see.
But that's cool. You can just like drink it from the lake though.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I'm the most excited about.
Yeah.
Is just like living completely off the land and
Right.
whatever Tyler decides to bring with him on the trip. Didn't you have like pizza that you guys made last year that broke you of your gluten-free diet?
Oh no, I basically so that whole gluten-free diet thing I did, that ended on the Canada trip. So, no, I didn't really adhere to that on the Canada trip because, I mean, if I would have tried to adhere to that, I probably would have starved, you know?
Oh.
It's just too hard, yeah, because it would have been too hard to account for that. Plus, I didn't have an actual allergy or anything, so I wasn't going to, like, force them to, whatever.
Yeah, completely, yeah. Michael was on a gluten-free diet for how long?
I did it for like a year and a half is about how long I did it for.
It's very impressive. Would you recommend this diet to other folks if they were on the fence about it?
Honestly, dude, I still try not. I still don't eat like gluten on the regular. It's not really gluten per se. Well, I don't know. There's controversy among that, but for me, it's just more about like I'm avoiding just simple carbs and whatnot. And I feel like I feel better when I don't eat stuff like that.
I
have like if I have like a big pizza or something, the next day I seem to not feel as good.
Right.
It could be a placebo thing or something, but even if it is a placebo thing, I still don't feel good. So
I agree with you 100%. Like that's how I lost most of my weight was like carbs, and lowering carbs meant like no bread and pastas. I don't even crave really like bread kind of, but pastas. I can't even remember last time I had pastas, but man, that really got the weight off. And like you said, like when I would have 4 pieces of pizza one night, I would feel like crap.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm the same way too. Like I don't really crave that stuff, and I think I've had one bowl of spaghetti within like 2 years now. Like I don't ever get pasta. I just never. But I've had pizza and bread here and there in the past few weeks and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, I feel better. And yeah, if you want to lose weight, like the best way to do that really is just cut carbs.
Oh yeah,
for whatever reason, I'm not sure exactly how it works, but carbs make you fat. You can be eating like, because there's this long-standing myth. Now, like it's a myth nowadays. It used to be, everyone thought it was true, but if you eat fat, you get fat. That's completely bullshit.
Right, that's exactly right.
Yeah, you basically, what you want to do is just eat. So the new diet nowadays is basically, it's called a ketogenic diet, and what you're doing is you're eating like 90% fat. Maybe not quite that much, but like
lots of meat.
Mostly fat. Yeah, mostly
eggs.
Fat, and then moderate protein and like minimal to no carbs.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the carbs you are getting, it's going to be from like vegetables and stuff like that. So you're really not even eating fruit.
Dang.
But that's a little intense, and I don't know if I could do that. Because,
well, a lot of the carbs.
I love fruit,
Like the carbs in like the pastas and breads just break down into sugar, and then if you eat like a ton of fruit, that's like sugar, even though it's natural, and it's just not good for losing weight at all.
Well, yeah, it's
meat is great.
Fruit, I wouldn't say is as bad because with fruit you're getting fiber, and fiber does help offset sugar.
Yeah,
and also fruit just has a ton of good stuff in it for you. So I definitely wouldn't say fruit's bad, but yeah, pasta and whatnot.
I mean, like in moderation.
Like,
yeah, I agree with all that.
Yeah, nice.
Isn't he going to school for dietary?
You're going to school for dietetics, right, Michael?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's his expertise.
Well, that's cool because that's kind of like how I lost all my weight.
Yeah, I mean,
pretty much.
It seems
what
like
talking about.
Yeah, weight loss is one of those things where it's hard to get into for a lot of people because they look at it as such a big challenge and such a big lifestyle change.
But slam down their calorie intake to like 600 a day, which is ridiculous.
Right, but I feel like if you do ease yourself into it, it's kind of like an addiction where you start looking up these different methods of weight loss and you start counting calories and carbs and different things. And it becomes a lifestyle, right? Would you agree with that, Michael?
Yeah, it's definitely, if you want to lose weight, it's not a matter of, I lost 100 pounds, now I can resume how I used to.
Exactly,
It's like, no, you have to keep it up. And, when you start eating healthy, you eventually get to a point where you're not, like, I still get cravings for stuff here and there. And, like, also, I'm not the healthiest eater or anything like that. Like, I still eat, like, trash every once in a while. Like, all I've had to eat today is, like, Chipotle.
Oh, yeah. It's a staple.
But again, Chipotle's not too bad. It's just, they have a lot of salt in their shit, but,
Yeah.
Did you eat that at work?
I did eat it at work, and I also have some in the fridge I'm about to eat right now. Live.
Oh, live right now?
Oh, I don't know.
Can you take your first bite right now so that we can experience with you?
Yeah. If you want me to, actually, never mind. I won't do that because that'll be annoying.
Yeah.
I'll be chewing.
That's okay. Yeah, I typically, like, I don't have, like, a diet that I set myself to or anything. I just kind of stay mentally cognizant of what I'm eating, and then occasionally I'll have an entire box of macaroni with pepperonis in it, you know?
Oh my god, that sounds delicious, yeah.
Well, I mean, dude, see, that's fine too, man, because you gotta let yourself, you gotta let it go sometimes.
Right.
You can't just constantly be doing that.
Yeah.
Right.
'Cause I don't know. I feel like it's not good for you. I mean, unless you're just a badass, and some people, they just never like crack. But some people need to, let off some steam and just have a piece of cake. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You should enjoy things now and again, and we're gonna do that when we go to Canada. Like, we're gonna, like, on the way back, we're gonna stop at this place called Betty's Pies, and we're gonna get pie milkshakes.
Oh, yeah.
Holy cow.
Oh my god, dude.
Pie milkshakes.
That's amazing. Yeah, that kind of ties into what we were talking about earlier, Anthony, about redlining and, letting off steam every once in a while so you feel better, so you don't go crazy.
Yeah, and I do that on the weekends now. So yeah.
Yeah, so your weekends are the times that you let off steam.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem to, do have any adverse effect with I'm still kind of slowly losing. So.
Yeah, because the other half of it is staying mentally healthy, right?
Right. Yeah.
Whereas, like, the more mentally healthy you are, the easier it's going to be to lose weight. It seems like, because your body is just going to work better if you're happier.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that's a big reason why I think exercise is important, because I think exercise is, and obviously it's very, very important for just physical health too, but mental health is, like, if I don't exercise for a while, I get depressed.
Yeah.
I need to do it, or I just don't feel
like
good.
I told Austin earlier today, I
so,
was like, I just have to exercise. It's been almost 2 weeks, so
Gosh,
I was
right.
like, I gotta start doing it again.
Yep, totally get it. All right, Michael. Well, we appreciate your insight. We look forward to having you back on the podcast after we get back from Canada, talking about that whole adventure.
Should be
Yeah,
fun.
man, sure. Glad to be on here.
Sweet. All right, Michael, talk to you later.
See ya.
All right, see you later, guys.
Take care.
Later.
And that was Michael Fields.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I really do look forward to having him on, because as you can see, like, he fits right in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's a Joe Rogan fan like you, so I feel like
that's
he's got
great.
that same mindset
I
of
remember at the
podcasting.
party.
Yeah,
we
did you guys talk about it?
Yeah, we did.
Remember that?
Yeah,
Okay,
and then
cool.
he's talked about Dr. Rhonda Patrick. I think she's on his show, and I think he said that, like, kind of inspired him for his major. And I was like, oh wow,
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Because she's like a guru. Like, she'll just sit there and spat out things. Joe Rogan's like trying to take notes, and he's like, honestly, I'm gonna stop taking notes and just re-listen to my own podcast, because there's just a flood of information from her.
Yeah.
And when you're like listening to it, like on the road, it's like hard to follow. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Yeah, that's the difference between a lot of podcasts. Some podcasts I listen to, like the Comedy Button, you kind of just turn your brain off and listen to them make jokes.
Oh yeah.
Whereas you got the Joe Rogan Experience and stuff like that you're talking about, where you're either like super tuned in, dialed in, and
Right.
listening, or you're just not even paying
a
any
genetic
attention.
physicist or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that, and then the next time it's like some Joey Diaz like bruiser.
Yeah, and then you find yourself just like spacing out and not even listening, and it's 20 minutes go by, and really, like, I kind of like that sometimes,
Yeah.
because it's nice just to have people talking in the background. It feels easier to space out that way and get
Especially
your mind
the
off
drive
of
to
things.
work. It just seems nicer.
100%.
Just to hear some good conversations.
100,000%. Completely agree. All right, Anthony, that was a good topic. We're going to move on to the next topic. What do you want to talk about? We got this list here. Do you have the list pulled up on your screen?
I do.
We've made like a list of like 20 different things in preparation for Podcast-athon 2016. So,
So we did things to remember in the woods already.
I want to talk about this one. What is this misconnection things you put on here?
Oh my god.
Let's get into that. I feel like that'd be a good lightweight one to end the podcast on.
Yeah, this one's interesting. So
Tell me about this. I'm interested.
okay, so I was going into Kroger to get some like Diet Pop,
As you do.
whatever. Yeah. So and like some Italian or sparkling ices that I wish we were sponsored by. But, well, maybe I'll email 'em.
One day. People can throw
And
shit.
anyways, so I'm walking. It was a Friday, so I'm walking past the. This Kroger has a wine section, like a
Right.
pretty big one, and I guess on Fridays they have wine tastings where people kind of sit at these high tops and
Dang,
just
it's a
like
fancy
sip
Kroger.
wine and just socialize. Like there's a
Dang.
decent amount of people. It's usually kind of an older crowd
Yeah.
because it's in a Kroger. It's not like a winery or something.
Yeah,
where-
because the younger folks are in clubs and lounges and playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah, I mean, the last thing you think of as socializing is like a Kroger on a Friday evening.
Yeah,
So-
100%.
But so I walked in there, and as I walked through, I locked on to this girl, that was sitting with 3 other older people. So
you
it looked
say
like
older,
maybe her parents and like an aunt or something.
Oh, that's an interesting situation to be in.
Yes. So, and she like looked up and like gave me her, no, she didn't look up. I like just looked at her and I was trying to like snapshot like what situation she's in right now.
Yeah.
And it looked like she was like really bored. Like just sitting there.
Okay.
Or maybe I was projecting that upon
Like her
I
family
don't know.
drug her there, and
Yeah,
she's
like,
sitting there, and she'd rather be somewhere else,
I
like
don't know.
hanging
That
out
was
with
just
you.
the snap vibe I got from it. I wasn't expecting to see, a girl like that, sitting there.
Sure, the
so
wine
it was just
tasting,
like
yeah.
that was the impression I got of her. Like I don't know, whatever.
Okay, but anyway.
So I walked by and I was like, and I kind of like turned as I like left or whatever.
Okay.
And yeah, she was pretty attractive. And I went to the pop aisle and got what I want. And then I left, and then I was passing her to where she could like see me leave or whatever.
Yeah, because you're strutting.
Well, yeah, I mean,
You're just
I
going
had
by.
like my my like more fitting clothes on. So,
Oh,
I was,
So you're feeling good.
I was feeling, I was feeling good. So I walked by, and then right as I turned a corner, I looked back. Like that, it's kind of like a chick move. I don't know.
It totally is. Like you're looking in the mirror.
But I
in front
wanted
of
to
you.
catch to see if she was, and she was like looking at me, and we locked eyes for like just a split second, and I was like, "Oh my god, that was awesome!"
And you turned around and you're like, "You like what you see?" And her
No, I
aunt's
did
like,
not.
I do. And you're like, "No, it's not."
Oh my god! And her grandma was like, "Go get it!" No, none of that happened.
Oh.
So yeah, I turned and looked, and like we locked eyes just for like a nanosecond. It was so brief, but it was still just like a thread of a connection right there.
Mm-hmm.
So I get back into my car, and I'm like still thinking about it, like, oh my god, that was crazy. And I get home, and I'm just browsing Reddit,
Right.
whatever.
As you
Friday, as I do, reading the news or whatever. And I'm like, man, and then she like popped back in my head again, and I was like, man, that was so like, I don't know, it was like a thread, but it was like electric, of a connection. And so I was like, wait a minute, I think there's a website that
Oh my
does
god. Are you kidding me?
lost connection. I was like, so I just
Misconnection,
Googled
right?
or misconnect, yeah. So I
Oh my goodness.
I Googled it, and there's no real like website dedicated for it, but Craigslist was the first thing that came up. And I was
Craigslist,
like,
yep.
oh my god, that is, because I remember reading about like a story of this couple that came together because of that. Years
It's got to
ago.
happen super rarely.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's
'Cause
got
what
to
are
be
the
a
odds?
1 in like a million.
Yeah.
Like something crazy.
But still.
But so. And you know me, like I'm all over the internet. I don't care. I
Yeah.
have like a Craigslist account. So I actually put it on Craigslist.
What? Did
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
really?
I mean, it's anonymous. Totally.
It is.
Whatever. I
That's
mean,
why
you could
Craigslist is
search
amazing.
the Cincinnati one and maybe. Oh yeah, you would find it.
Are you on it right
It's
now?
Really, yeah, I have it pulled
I'm
up.
gonna get on it right now. Actually.
It was on July. Oh shoot!
I wanna
I didn't expect that.
I want to read one of these.
Yeah, so I started reading other ones, and some of them are like kind of like, I wouldn't say sad, but it's just like I feel for these people because they're like really like gushing out their heart. You
Yeah,
know?
dude. I mean,
it
really,
was-
like, nothing against the people that have done this, but you gotta really be like at the.
I wouldn't say no. Don't say the D word, the desperate word. That's not. I think it's, as I was reading, these people aren't necessarily desperate. It's just something to like,
Maybe like
hey, throw it out there,
like a romantic thing.
Okay, so
I
like
can
a
understand
note in a
that.
bottle in the ocean.
Yeah, I
You're
get
just,
that.
it's kind of more of the, it's kind of almost exactly like that.
All right, you've won me over.
So
Okay.
it's like a.
I've turned.
Okay, good.
My opinion. Don't worry.
So as long as I don't look desperate.
No,
I'm
you
just kidding.
you don't look desperate.
I thought
don't
it was.
worry. That's not what I was gonna
okay.
say. I was just gonna say like, you know what?
Yeah, because I'm totally not.
No, I know. I'm completely the person that would totally do something like that too, because
Just for
I do crap
shits
like
and
that all
giggles.
the time, and I'm like, gee, I wonder if there's any chance in this mystical world that
Yeah,
like,
we do kind of talk about. Yeah.
we totally do, and like it's totally a romantic thing, right?
Yeah, it's just kind of goofy thing to. I just happened to see it, and I was like, huh, all right, So I put a little. Let's see, July 8th. Some of them were a little freaky though. I was reading through some of them.
Let me read this one. All right, this is titled Kmart. I seen you at Kmart on Woodman on Tuesday.
Oh,
Wanted
no.
to say hi, but we had an awful ending. You know who you are.
Oh my god.
No commas or periods in the middle of it.
Oh my god.
That's awesome. Did you get
So-
any responses?
No. I thought I was gonna get some creepers like, hey, I'm some trucker from like Seattle. Like what?
Trolling for people like you.
So I did find mine,
Okay.
and it's titled "I saw you at a wine tasting."
This is amazing.
And then you put like M for W. So that's male
Men
for
for
women.
women, yeah.
And I put, I saw you around 5 to 6 p.m. as I passed by your table. We locked eyes just for a moment as I left. I went in just for some pop and came away wondering.
Anthony, that is
That's
poetic as crap.
It's cheesy a little bit.
But it's charmingly cheesy.
Well, thank you, Austin.
You were
I thought it was kind of fun to do.
Now you got me wanting to do it. Because this crap happens all the time.
I mean,
I
felt like, you know what, this takes a minute of my time.
Yeah.
So I was just like,
what the heck? What's the difference? Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what would completely bypass that entire situation? Actually talking to her in the first place.
Well, I was never really in gear for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I just look back to see, if whatever.
But this brings me to something that I do want to talk about.
Okay.
Because I have these experiences all the time.
I know, it sounds like, this
all the
is
time.
in tune with what we talk about.
Because I can get to the position where it's like, eyes are locked. You can tell there's like kindled interest between the two of you. And I'm just like,
a little something. Yeah.
all right, now it's time to run away.
Yeah.
Run away and post it on Craigslist.
All right, bye.
Bye. Yeah.
Find me on Craigslist.
Example.
Could you imagine?
I can't even. What if we I don't even know. I'm not even going there.
Yeah.
But I was at Newport.
Okay.
It was yesterday playing
Yeah.
Pokemon Go with my friends. We're
Okay.
walking around Newport, getting the Pokestops.
Okay.
Newport is the best place to go if you live in the tri-state, by the way, the Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky tri-state.
Oh, yeah.
Go to Newport. You can
Newport
just
is
chill
fun.
on the levee, get some water Pokemon. But anyway, I digress. There was an entire group of girls there. Maybe I'll put this on Craigslist.
Yeah,
Some
there-
disconnects.
Oh, yeah, because
I was looking for a Poliwag. And
Not
this,
sure what
this
that is.
one of these
Is
girls
that a
was
pirate
like,
or?
don't even, I'm,
Okay.
not even getting into it. She was like, hey, there's like a lot of Pokemon over here. This is the place to be. And it's like her and her friends who are all like equally like, eligible looking.
Yeah.
And I'm
Okay.
like, oh, sweet, nice. And I'm like, I don't even like, and I'm like, oh, sweet, you guys come over here. There's a lot of Pokemon over here. These guys said there's Pokemon over here.
Yeah.
And I turn, I'm like, have you guys fought any gyms yet? And they're like, what are you talking about? We're just
Oh,
kind of
no.
playing this game casually. And I'm like, no, there's gyms. You got to fight the gyms and take them out. And they're like, we have no idea what you're talking about. And I'm like, you guys, okay. And I just kind of walked away. That situation totally could have turned into something. But,
Oh, yeah.
and I knew, like, I probably wanted it to in the back of my head. But
Yeah.
it's the follow through, Anthony.
Yeah.
It's something that I'm not used to.
I'm not
Taking
good
it to
at
that
it
next
all.
level.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it.
I have,
If you
like,
have any
minimal
advice,
practice.
let me know. And I think that is all it is. It's just the practice. Like,
Pick up drinking. No,
I don't know.
That doesn't even help me, so it's all right.
no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if you listened to like a couple weeks ago, that may not have.
Right.
helped you in that
Yeah,
situation.
nothing.
Yeah,
no, I'm
but
just
it's the
kidding.
follow through,
Practice,
Anthony.
practice.
It's the follow through.
I'm talking about practice.
Right. So yeah, and it's also like the fear of like, what if it goes bad and it's awkward? But I think it's just
I don't
getting.
even know.
it's
For
getting
me, it's
over
not
that.
even the fear. It's just I don't even know what to say and I lock up. It's weird.
Yeah. Okay.
So I mean, I'll get over eventually.
Yeah, we'll
But-
get over it. We just gotta take Stephanie up on her offer to help us through.
Your
My
sister,
yeah. She messaged us after that one podcast that we talked about
Oh,
bar
Lord.
fails. She's like, "You guys got to go out with me. I'll show you the ropes."
I feel like she'd bring back like a group of 6 girls.
We'll get past these things. I hope
got
your
chicken
Craigslist
fingers?
thing comes into play later in life. I hope it ends up being successful.
Oh, I'm sure it won't.
You should, you should go to wine tastings at Kroger more often. And for
No.
everyone out there that's looking for like, how old was she?
I'm guessing like my age or maybe a little bit older.
If you're looking for 30-somethings
But it was hard to tell. It's hard to tell.
that have a group of relatives around them,
I'd say 28 to 30.
check out your local Kroger wine tasting on Friday nights because apparently that's the place to be.
Yeah, look for the girl with her grandparents and parents. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, agreed. So, put a pin in that topic. I think we have... Oh, yeah, let's just do a quick update on... Okay, so we talked to Brittany about this last week, but Shameless,
Okay.
that TV
Oh,
show
right,
we
right,
pimped,
right.
you watched a few
I
episodes of
started
it?
watching it.
Okay.
It's really good.
Quick
So,
impressions, and then we'll call it a day for this
Quick
episode.
impressions.
Yeah.
It's basically like dysfunctional love, but it's in many layers and it's well done.
I see.
So the layers are like not people think of love like between, a romantic male and female,
Yep.
male, female, whatever.
Right.
Dating, I guess.
Totally.
But it goes through like the love of sisters, the love of brother and sister, the love of like their father. Like Brittany was talking. Brittany kind of gave a good summary about it. But,
Yeah.
But it's just things like that, and it's just really well done. And I will say, Brittany did warn, but is definitely very rated R.
Oh, jeez.
Very, very, lot of nude scenes, but
Oh, God.
it works with how the show is like really raw.
So
I
it makes
just-
sense for the program.
Exactly. It actually fits the actual show.
That's
and I
good.
love like raw shows that are different than
Yeah.
anything else. Like sitcoms I just cannot stand anymore these days.
I get you.
But yeah, I'm loving it. I'm 4 episodes in, and yeah, it's definitely a good watch if you're not, one to shy away from vulgar language and like nudity.
So for the adults in the crowd.
Yeah, it's kind of like a white trash Game of Thrones. So-
White trash Game of Thrones.
in regards to nudity.
Gets the P-Funk and Fro seal of approval. Or at least the Fro seal of approval.
Right.
I'll give an update as soon as I watch a few episodes.
Yeah, it's good.
So yeah, check that out. I'll check it out sometime soon too. Wanted to watch it
Shameless.
before.
Very good.
Shameless.
It's on Netflix. There's 4 seasons.
Cool. So now that we've wrapped up, Anthony,
Yep.
thank you all for listening. This has been episode 9. Tune in for episode 10. And after that, the beta is officially ended. We've got a few surprises for everyone.
Oh.
Anthony, we have to think of surprises.
Oh my god, surprises.
Thank you all for listening, and we will see you next week.
Later. These things are been delicious. Yeah, I wish we would get sponsored by Sparkling Ice. I love them. I have my mom drinking them now.